Oh yeah, that was fantastic. I just wish we would have more people on, you know.
But
I just wish more people would have showed up for it.
need
I felt pretty crowded.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock.
would,
I'm going
yeah.
to call the meeting to order. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gary, can you do roll call, please?
Bob Cook,
Here.
Sally Bell.
Here.
Stephen Kaufman,
Here.
Ed Koschel.
Here.
Holly Mernick,
Here.
Gary Dean.
Here.
Very good. Do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda? None? We need to approve the minutes from the October 7th work session and October 7th council meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? We're voting to approve the workshop meeting on October 7th, 2025, and the council meeting on October 7th, 2025.
Bob Cook,
Yes.
Sally Bell.
Yes.
Stephen Kaufman,
Yes.
Ed Koschel.
Yes.
Holly Mernick,
Yes.
Gary Dean.
Yes.
Very good. The minutes from the work session for October 7th, 2025, and the meeting from, the council meeting from October 7th, 2025 have been approved. Visitor comments?
Yeah, I got it.
Dwayne Helms, 2195. In regards to the mayor's report last council meeting, where the village received notification of a failure to respond to a notice of violation back in May of 2024. That was responded by Lucas Darling, and Mary from H2O Technologies, and obviously the new EPA rep that came in for the drinking water was new. Chris Maslow was the official at that time, and I'd just like it to be known that there was a response that was put in by Lucas Darling.
Any other visitor comments? None? Mayor's report? The fun doesn't have to end after trick or treating. On October 25th at 7:30 p.m., the Romney Shores Police Department will be hosting a Halloween costume contest at the RRA Clubhouse. Prizes will be awarded in the following 4 categories: elementary school, middle school, high school and adult, and group, which is 3 or more people in the same theme. Hot dogs, cookies, s'mores, and beverages will be provided while supplies last. On November 1st, the Romney Shores Police Department will be holding its annual Can the Cruiser from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Romney Shores Police Department located at 2500 Hayford Road. Non-perishable food items as well as monetary donations will be accepted. Please do not donate expired food. It will just have to be thrown away. Monetary donations are greatly appreciated due to their ability to purchase large quantities of food at an extremely reduced government subsidy rate. Donations will go to the Country Neighbor, which serves the needs of southern Ashtabula and northern Trumbull counties. Country Neighbor prepares approximately 175 meals daily to be delivered across the area. Country Neighbor is also Ashtabula County's main food bank, which supports approximately 15 food pantries spread across Ashtabula County. I would like to encourage all of our residents to please donate to this worthwhile fundraiser. Together, we can make a difference in our community. Lastly, by now, you received a letter from South Central Ambulance District. Once again, it's time to join or renew your ambulance membership. I highly recommend you join if you have not done so already. Being a member protects you from out-of-pocket expenses should you need the use of SCAD's emergency services. Your donation of at least $15 or more helps support training, equipment, and operations. All those things help SCAD maintain the professional ambulance service that we are all accustomed to. Please consider renewing or joining. If you have any questions regarding SCAD, Ed Kozel or I will be more than happy to answer. Also, if you need or misplaced your membership form, the Village Hall will have extra forms that you can pick up. Thank you. Treasurer's report.
We received the second half disbursement in August. The general fund received $96,048.66. The fees that came out of that were $19,853 for the health department fee, and then another $5,600 for miscellaneous auditor and treasurer fees. So the total for the general fund from the disbursement was approximately $70,600. We originally anticipated approximately $254,500 for the year, and we ended at approximately $234,300. The police department's second half disbursement was approximately $223,800 for an annual total of approximately $545,700. The water fund received $850 in special assessments, which is when delinquent accounts are sent to the county. So the water fund received $850 and the sewer fund received $1,100. In September, I sent about 150 delinquent accounts to the county for certification. So in the first half settlement for 2026, we should see a significant increase in those special assessments. And outside of the financial statement that you guys received, the 2026 budget is in the works. We will be meeting, the finance department or committee will be meeting at the beginning of November to discuss the budget and to go over the year so far. So we should be seeing temporary appropriations coming soon.
Very good. Any
Carrie?
questions?
Carrie?
Yes, sir.
Quick question for you. First of all, thank you for pulling this together. It's great. In the budgeting process, do we budget to the full estimate of revenue, or do we reduce it by a bad debt ratio?
Typically a bad debt ratio is kind of factored in.
And what bad debt ratio are you currently?
5%. And I think that's what it was recommended from the county auditor.
They take it right off the top. The county does that before they send it.
Okay. But so what they send over is we use 100% of what we expect them to send over?
Yes. Yeah, the actual amount is higher. They put a factor in for folks who don't pay their taxes or other reasons, and they reduce it by 5%.
Now, do we do the same thing on water and sewer? Because I just found out that we're averaging approximately 5% bad debt ratio over there too. And I didn't see, it didn't look like it when I was reviewing this, trying to figure out the details.
I don't think so, and I would have thought that it probably would have been a little bit higher for water and sewer
Well,
than that 5%, to be honest.
Try to be conservative, Gary.
Yeah, I know. But we also don't appropriate the full amount either that we're anticipating. So, there's always that little buffer, that if we needed to go and appropriate additional funds, there's usually, funds left over that have not been appropriated. So I think that kind of takes into account, any bad debt that we have, if anybody is not paying their water sewer bills, and that sort of thing. But, I think now that we have the process a little bit easier in the new system with certifying the delinquent accounts, and I know this year, the paying of people's, utility bills have gone up significantly than in the past. Mark has done really well with that and with the ladies up front too. So, I think we're seeing a little bit more come in, and then, certifying them. I think we're going to be seeing, like I said, a significant amount more coming back in the special assessments and the tax disbursements.
Thank you for that.
As long as people are paying their taxes, because if they're not paying their taxes, then
Another-
you still may not see
That's
it.
another issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't control that. Thank you.
We cannot.
Any other questions about the treasurer's report?
I have one. I think it's on the revenue status, but it could be on the appropriation status. Is there room for us to incorporate a column that tells us what last year's budget ended up looking like, or year-to-date last year?
It would
same
have to be,
timeframe?
it would have to be a separate report, because I don't generate, I generate this, but I don't format the report itself. So,
It's a standard report the way we get it.
yes. So if we did anything for last year, it'd have to be a separate, I can always provide the end of year, so that you
Sure,
can see
sure.
all of 2024. And then when we go into 26, we can always do 2025. But there's nothing in here, there's no way that I could just add a column for
Is that
that.
something you're requesting, Ron? Be generated for next meeting?
It could wait till the end of the year then. That would be great.
All council members should have an end of year report that you received in January of this year. So you should have that information.
Well, I was asking for it to be included here, and since it can't be, why generate a bunch of reports for?
I can always email it if you do just want to kind of look over last year going into the budget season for right now. You can shoot me over an email and I can send it out to you.
Okay,
Very good. Any other questions about the treasurer's report? None. I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? We're voting to approve the treasurer's report.
Bob Cook,
Yes.
Sally Bell,
Yes.
Stephen Kaufman,
Yes.
Ed Kojal,
Yes.
Holly Marick,
Yes.
Gary Mann.
Yes.
Very good. The treasurer's report has been approved. Administrative report?
Reports in your packet pending any questions.
I have a quick question. First of all, I like the new format where you have past, what's going on now and what to expect in the future. But on one of the lines, you have that you're looking to bring in an insurance advisor for future potential changes.
Correct.
Can you tell us about that?
So talking with Chief, he mentioned that there's some shortcomings in our insurance policy for our employees when you're looking at different municipalities. Talking with the utility plant, they've also mentioned that, talking with the county and other locations, that there's better plans out there. So we just decided that maybe we should look into bringing in a professional. That way we can actually weigh our options better than having a non-professional insurance people here looking it over.
And is there potential to save on the insurance enough to cover the cost of the consultant?
I would have to know after talking with the consultant.
Okay, thank you. And then the grants, the list there, are they applied for? Are they being written? Are they in the research phase right now?
You're looking at the grant page.
The grant list. You have on page.
Let's see. So the OPWC funds, that's for the lift stations that you guys have in your readings. The Warsaw is what we're looking at doing for the lift stations as well. And then the WPCLF, that's for the wastewater plant upgrade study. That is not something we're actively doing yet. We're just looking into that process right now, and you'll see numbers at the next meeting for moving forward with the wastewater plant if that's something we want to do. No problem.
Police chief report, he's not here today. Everybody has a report in your file. Solicitor report.
Your ordinance for the cybersecurity policy of council would be okay with moving to a second reading. I'm still researching policies and date deadlines and things for that, but at least we have it on the table to keep moving because it's been made an issue with every municipality I try to help with. And right now, there isn't really a nice policy that anyone's found that we truly like the best. So we'll keep plugging away. But other than that, no other update.
Finance committee,
I think Carrie covered it all.
public works,
Next meeting is 11/7/25 at 5 p.m.
planning commission.
Next meeting is 10/22/25, 7 p.m.
One more time, sorry.
10/22/25, 7 p.m.
Records commission did not meet. Strategic planning committee.
Yeah, we are in the writing report phase of the strategic plan. We also met with the association to share with them our goals, the 4 goals, and some of the initiatives to work toward those goals. Had some interesting questions back from them, which we'll make sure get answered in the report as well. We're finished with our research, and so we are still on time. And we'll look to have something in front of council beginning of next month.
RA,
Yes, the RA has been very busy the last few weeks. Point of interest for everybody, so you know, there is a meeting this Saturday, 10 o'clock in the morning at the clubhouse. Also, they have requested and been granted a lake lowering starting on 11/3. Okay, note that the amount and timing is totally dependent upon Mother Nature, how much rain we get. The drawdown will help the association with giving members the opportunity to maintain the docks and seawalls, as well as they have a project they are starting to dredge Beach 2 and install overnight docks for members. Okay. Additionally, the association recently sent out a number of letters to people with dangerously deteriorating docks, okay, and as a predecessor to what they're going to be doing in the future, okay, there's just warning letters, nothing, no fines, nothing involved, and immediately people started correcting the problem. 2 docks have already been taken down, 1 dock has already started to be repaired. So just letting people know that there's a hazard really did go a long way to actually having it rectified. So I'm pretty impressed with that approach. Finally, construction will begin on the clubhouse renovation next week. The remodeled clubhouse will be available for use the summer of 2026. They're expecting it to be finished somewhere during the month of May of 2026. So if you have any questions on any of this or any other RA stuff, please remember the RA is separate totally from us, and feel free to reach out to the RRA and ask any questions you wish on any of this information.
SCAD,
We had 18 runs into our village last month, bringing the total for the year at 182. Excuse me, bringing the total for the year at 120. And 182 runs in the district this past month, 1,494 for the entire year. And at our meeting, we sworn the newest paramedic, Rebecca Zirkle Wilms.
by the way, she is local.
Yep.
She's born and raised in Roman Shores. Thank you. Legislation, we have ordinance 2025-09-02, an ordinance replacing Village Code Chapter 151 Employment Manual with revised personnel code here attached here too, and fully incorporated herein, and not declaring an emergency. It's in its third reading. I need a motion to pass the ordinance.
I move that we pass ordinance 2025-0902, village code.
Second.
Any discussion?
I want to thank my council colleagues for working through everything within the employment manual, or what's now called the personnel code, from what it was when it was originally proposed to council. I know it was a lot of work, but we as a council, as a village, have worked to potentially save our village a few $1,000s, as well as a lot of work in the future trying to correct what was originally there. So thank you.
Any other discussion? We're voting to pass ordinance 2025-09-02.
Bob Cook,
Yes.
Sally Bell, yes. Stephen Kaufman,
Yes.
Ed Koschel,
Yes.
Meredith,
Yes.
Gary Man.
Yes.
Very good. Ordinance 2025-09-02 passes. Next is resolution 2025-10-1R, a resolution adopting a cybersecurity policy for the village of Roman Shores and not declaring an emergency in its first reading.
I have some questions for you, Chris. So is email better? Should we just chat after the meeting?
Either way's fine.
Okay.
And we can make some minor modifications to this and still keep it to the second reading.
Yeah,
Cybersecurity
and
is
depending
kind
on
of
how far
important.
it goes, I'll make recommendations, whether we maybe want to read it a few more times, you know what I mean? I think it's one of those things, we'll get it right, make sure it meets all the, what the state's looking for. So,
Get it right, make sure this, that we do what the state wants, but also get it implemented by the end of the year when a lot of
Next
this.
year, right. We have deadlines for next year.
Madam Mayor, may I
Yes.
jump in on that?
Yes,
Chris, with that, this is just a temporary policy that's a placeholder till we put the actual policy
They
in.
sent out a draft resolution, the Ohio Municipal Attorneys League did, that they suggested that the deadlines, they said under the House bill, said we have to implement it by a certain date, but they provided no actual policy language, just guidelines for it. And so it left most municipalities with some fictitious deadline to meet, even though the deadline isn't until next year. But they put this September 30th date in, saying you still have to implement a policy. So the ordinance draft they sent wasn't to say we'll have a policy by a certain date. It was actually says, if you read it, that we're implementing the policy. Well, we don't have a policy for you to review and implement yet. I think that's irresponsible. So we'll, as long as we meet the deadline by next year, we've been assured that there's no issue with mandates or guidelines.
Okay, so before we go through with anything, we want the final product before we vote on it, right?
Right.
If that's the case, I have it 95% completed for the village. I'll finish it up with the cyber team and then have it submitted to you all. And then we'll replace what you have in your packet now.
Right.
So do you want to just wait till second reading? Do we want to table it until that final product's
I mean,
done?
It's only going to second reading if you think it's close.
Okay.
The worst case scenario is it goes back to first reading because you haven't had a chance to look at it.
Okay,
That's not the biggest concern, but
okay,
Mark's been working on that and we're further along because we've had some stuff in place already. It's just, you know, they issued mandates without practicality in my opinion. So we'll get it to where it needs to be in plenty of time.
thanks, Chris.
very good. Next is resolution 2025-10-2R, resolution authorizing the village administrator to prepare and submit an application to participate in Ohio Public Works Commission state capital improvement and/or local transportation improvement programs for the sewer system improvement, project, and to execute contracts as required and declare an emergency. It's in its first reading.
If I may, real quick.
Yes.
I spoke to Alan Freiger, our consultant with Verdantis. Bob rose the question in the last meeting about the can structure and integrity. They did say that when they go in and evaluate those 4 lift stations, that they will actually be checking the integrity and referencing if we want to replace those while they're doing the engineer study on them.
Very good. Thank you.
I actually was sitting today with Council-elect Megan Clark and going over the packet and what kinds of things are in the packet for council. And when looking at this, she asked the question, what is the dollar amount in
The match,
here? Yeah, no, the total as well as what we need is the match.
double the match. So, I don't have it in front of me at this moment. Let me see.
That should be in your
It might
report.
be in your report.
It's in your report.
Okay. Let me get you that real quick.
No, it does not go in the ordinance, it's just a question of funding, right?
Let's see,
It'll go
lift
on
station
the-
refurbish plan. Total is 429,300, and our match is 214,650.
And on new business, I have some comments on that.
Thank you. Okay, next is ordinance 2025-10-3, an ordinance approving the police department salary scale for fiscal years 2026 through 2030, attached here to and incorporated herein, and not declaring an emergency. It's in its first reading. Next is ordinance 2025-10-4, an ordinance approving the employment agreement between William J. Roscoe as the chief police for the Village of Roman Shores Police Department for a term of 5 years, commencing January 5th, 2026, and ending January 5th, 2031, and declaring an emergency. It's in its first reading.
So I have a procedural question. This being in its first reading, and I would highly recommend, since this is of a personnel nature, discussing in executive session. If it's in its first reading now and changes are made or there's additional information, will it have to go back to its first reading?
Next, old business, a fiscal officer job posting.
During the conversation this week, I asked when we were gonna start to move forward on the fiscal officer position. It's concerning, I know how hard that position is and how we have come to expect a lot from that position that Carrie has been willing to do. And there's training and there's all sorts of stuff that needs to happen. I know that they're on a different schedule than an annual schedule. I know that, but it could take us 2 months to interview, find, and hire, maybe even 3. Okay? And then it can take us easily that much to train, especially, with limited availability for training. So I really would like to see council start to push and personnel committee start to push this ahead.
Mark, is that something we have ready so that we could go forward with?
Yeah, we can post anytime that we're ready. We appropriated funds to staff that position this year at 55,000. And with Carrie's current salary, we definitely have leftover on that to be able to start that process sooner. If we wanted to bring somebody on the payroll, as soon as we're ready as a council, as you're ready as a council, we can go ahead and post that, and then we'll start interviews. And I just need to know who will take part of those interviews, as we no longer have an HR committee. I expect it would probably be myself, the mayor, and I don't know if you have a delegate, Madam Mayor, but that's all we'll need, and we can get started.
Wonderful. Is that something everybody's comfortable moving forward with?
I'll make a motion as such.
And I second it as such.
Just a reminder, we have no more HR committee. It was something
That's
they
correct.
And personnel?
None.
None, okay. Well, I've got to go to someone to do.
Well,
Have
he
fun,
just
Mark.
said, he, the mayor, and a designee, which would likely be the president pro tem. That makes a good 3-person panel.
And then you guys can always do it like you did for the administrator position, because it's going to be outlined similar. They're going to report directly to the mayor. If you wanted to, whatever candidates move past that first interview could always be interviewed by council following, which I would recommend.
Very good. All right, we're voting to move forward with advertising the position.
Oh, there's a motion on the table, right?
Right,
Yes.
yes.
Was that Holly first, Steven second?
Yes,
Bob Cook,
No.
Sally Bell,
Yes.
Stephen Kaufman,
yes.
Ed Kozel,
Yes.
Holly Meredith,
Yes.
Gary Mann.
Yes.
Very good. We will move forward with advertising.
I will have it posted tomorrow.
Thank you. New business, Stephen, you.
Yes, I have something,
Go
okay,
ahead.
since the other two things appear to have already been discussed.
Correct.
Okay, as you may recall, and I'll repeat some of this for the benefit of our guests here. Earlier last year, we passed a placeholder $5 sewer fee to start to collect money so that we would have money available for paying for various aspects of our sewer revitalization. Okay. At the last meeting, we were presented by the village engineer with updated estimated figures and infrastructure assessments. Okay. At this meeting, we have an ordinance there indicating that we are looking at reviewing and approving upwards to $400,000 of sewer expense, of which a matching need of about $206,300 will be needed on estimate. Okay. I understand this is a difficult topic to raise this time of the year. However, mathematically, by delaying this discussion, we only increase the monthly burden to our residents later. The sooner we begin collecting the necessary funds, the more manageable the impact will be. Okay. The funding right now would be used to pay debt service. That's assuming that we will have 100% of our costs incurred in a debt serviceable financial instrument. And that debt service will come to, okay, roughly $206,000 per year, okay, or $17,000 per month, or based upon the 1,300 lots that we have, between 13 and 1,400 lots comes to $9.30 a piece. And with a 5% CAD debt ratio, in order to cover our debt service, we would need to have about a $9.50 sewer fee. Now, we already collect 5. Okay, so we would only be looking to make up the difference between the 5 and the 9. I've done a little bit of mathematics. If we choose to delay this, which we certainly can, okay, we would be closer to $17 per month, okay, when it finally happens. So would like council to start discussing, and then I would like consideration to amend the ordinance that from a $5 fee to a $9.50 fee starting next year. Now, again, I know this is the wrong time of year. It's an election year. People are all going to be unhappy about the bill, but we have to pay for it. Or we just delay and charge them more. But we have a net zero amount of money. We don't end up with a lot of extra money at the end of the year. So we have to cover these costs. I will remind everybody, unlike that of the water tower, which was an optional thing to be able to have enough water to service our community, the sewer plant is an edict by the EPA. We do not have a choice. They will start to fine us at the end of 2026 if we don't have a plan in place that is executable and financially sound. Okay, we don't have a choice. It's not like this is up for discussion. Okay, so what we do have a choice is delaying this, okay, a year and a half, and then collecting a whole lot more per month, or start to collecting it now. Okay, those are the options. Now, these numbers were very similar to what we suggested 4 years ago when we first started these numbers. And yes, we have gone back now. We've paid the money for the county engineer. We've done, Ed, you were so correct. You asked us to go out and prove our numbers. You asked us to give us a plan that made sense. Okay, because you were looking out for not spending people's money wrong. Well, we've now done that. It's been tweaked a little bit. Okay, we don't have quite the same scope as we had the first time. We have no distribution piping included in this, which is a whole nother issue. Okay, but we do have a fire suppressing, fire, not suppression, help me out, guys, a fire distribution system where we will be able to provide enough water to all parts of our community, okay, in the case of fire, which we can't do now, okay? This is all gonna be part of it. We'll have hydrants that are working when it finishes. And we will have a system that will last for the next 75 years, as shown by, okay, the engineer at this meeting 2 weeks ago. So I am pleading with council to look at this. Don't kick it down the road. Don't hope that the next council will be able to do something magical to get this done, okay? Start to collect this money. It's not being spent, it's being saved. It goes into a fund. Carrie can tell us every month exactly how much money is in that fund, okay? And should we get lucky and some part of this is paid for by another method, some part of it is paid for by the government, all of a sudden thinking that, great, we'll come up with money, okay? If that happens, we can drop it down to zero and use what we've collected to meet our obligation. We don't have to continue to collect it. But should it not happen, okay, and there's a lot of instances where this isn't happening, guys, okay, then we will be we will be hurting our own residents by even higher monthly bills. They're not going to say to themselves, oh, since we're not going to collect it now, I'm going to put $10 aside in a coffee jar in case we collect it later. They're going to spend the money just like I would. And then when it hits them, it's going to be that much harder. So I would like to get yelled at, but okay, I would like us to have Chris provide an updated ordinance that we could put into the first reading at the next meeting.
I'd like to see the numbers mapped out instead of hearing them and hoping I got it.
They are on your desk today. You're welcome to look at them. They start off by saying waste.
I
water,
understand the numbers that it will cost. I'm talking about the
debt service right there.
I'm talking about the impact and the math of $5 versus $9.50 and your timeline.
Okay, it's very simple. Divide by 1,400 accounts. I don't need to map that out, Holly. If you can't, I'll lend you my calculator.
Oh, please.
Okay.
I think we need to see it on paper and know when the money's coming and where it's going.
Explain what you mean by when the money, when,
Right now, it's at $5.
yes, and we collect.
And you're saying, let's increase it. You didn't tell me when.
Starting the first
soon.
of the year.
Okay. Let's just see that math laid out. Because you're telling us that we'll be at $17 in a year or a year and a half?
No, when we have to start paying for this, which will be closer to 3 years.
Okay,
So if we delay until then, we will have that. And we still have I want to remind council of something. We directed a study 4 years ago, 3 years and about 8 months ago, called a water services study to determine our collection. That study that was done by the engineer said we need a surplus of money in our account, a reserve. Carrie, what's our current water and sewer reserve?
Oh.
We're supposed to have,
Right on the front page
we're
here.
supposed to have 6 months of operating.
I want to say it's 1 year.
We're supposed to have 1 year, you're right, 1 year.
So with the reserve, we have to have 1 year's worth of the loan payments in there. Operating expenses, I'm not sure what the timeline is for that,
It
but
was 6 months for operating and 1 year for loan.
1 year for loans.
Yes. And I think if we look at this, we have been ignoring this for a while.
I put money in there every single month.
A little.
We transfer money in there every month.
A little, we are far under our needs. Go on.
I was gonna say, Steve, I fully understand, the need to make sure that we're bringing in what needs to go out. And I think, it's tough to bring up a topic like this, so bravo for doing that. And you continue to champion these projects, and we are so much farther down the road than we were just 3 years ago, so thank you. I don't think it's an unreasonable
No, it
request to ask for a one-pager on the map. So if you like.
Yeah, we'll be able to get that.
Okay, thank you.
We can have that for next meeting.
I'll send it out to everyone between now and then.
Thank you, Steve. Any other questions for Stephen about the sewer thing? Is there any other new business? Okay, we have the bills for review. Everybody has them in front of them. Any questions about the bill? None? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and pay the bill. Sally, you mentioned.
Yeah, I would like to motion that we go into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, et cetera, for that reason.
I have a second.
Do we know what it's about?
Hmm.
Is it about the police, chiefs, okay, I second.
Who's included?
Let's see. I don't think we need to have
The mayor, the council, and
the administrator, the solicitor,
clerk.
or the clerk treasurer.
You do not, or you do?
Do not.
Okay,
You don't want the solicitor?
So council and mayor.
okay.
Okay, all right. Any discussion before we vote to go into executive session? None? We're voting to go into executive session.
Bob Cook,
Yes.
Sally Fowle.
Yes.
Stephen Kaufman,
Yes.
Ed Koval,
Yes.
Holly Meredith,
Yes.
Gary Meehan.
Yes.
Very good. We'll be going into executive session. I need everybody to leave the room.
Can we have a 5-minute break?
Yes.
Thank you.